Hey, what's up, guys? It's Javi again doing my episode 2 on July 6th, 2020. Today, I wanted to touch base with everyone with the word relationships, and I wanted to did bring my girlfriend Jackie on board to talk about the word in general and go from there. Just to kick it off, my first question was, how old were you, Jackie, when you first got married, and how did that go for you?
I was 22 going on 23. We dated for 6 months and then we got engaged. And then we got married 6 months after that. So it was our 1 year anniversary. And the first 2 years, they were good. But after that, after the first 2 years, it's when all the lying and the cheating started. But I stayed for about 5 more years after that.
Do you remember exactly how many years into the marriage he started cheating on you and how you found out?
Well, the cheating started after 2 years of being married. Um, the very first time I found out was the girl actually came up to me. Um, not physically or anything, but she did leave um copies of their texts and stuff. Like she left it on the mailbox because she knew I would get home first, so she knew I would see them first than him. So she was the one that came and told me. But after a while, I found out she was only telling me because he was cheating on me with this girl on and off in the course of 2, 3 years, on and off with her.
Yeah,
And the only time she would come and tell me, like, hey, your husband is still with me or whatever, was when she would get mad at him.
yeah.
So she would only come at me so I can get mad at him as well.
So basically, like trying to team up,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah, for her. Yeah, that's how it was. And for me, she would tell me I would find out because somehow she ended up getting my phone number and my email, so she would send me messages. Then I would go to him like, "Hey, what's up?" Like
Yeah.
at first I thought I was doing something wrong because it's like, what am I doing wrong that you are going out there to go get whatever it is that you want,
Yeah.
But
That's crazy. You said you stayed for 5 more years. What made you stay after even knowing that it wasn't even worth it anymore?
because I thought I wasn't good enough to be with somebody else. I thought nobody would want me. Um, and my thought was that because of my ex husband. He would tell me, like, hey, you're gaining weight, you're fat, you're not, as skinny as you used to be. You're not dressing up like you used to when we first met, this and this and that. So, because I gained weight and I wasn't, uh, um, how do you call it? I wasn't dressing up. I don't wear makeup. So, and he wanted me to wear like tight dresses, tight clothes, and I didn't want to because I was gaining weight.
Yeah.
So, him telling me, you're fat, you're not as pretty as you used to be, and this and that, made me think, well, I mean, if he thinks that, then all the other guys are going to think the same. So I stayed. But, I mean, eventually I got tired of it. I got enough of it. So I left.
You ever met anyone or know anyone that's been in any kind of um abusive relationship, whether it be mentally, emotionally, or physically?
Aside from mine wasn't physically, but it was emotionally. Aside from mine, no, I do not.
The reason I ask you is because I wanted to touch base on that. Why do females, in your opinion, why do they stay Why do you think they choose to stay over letting it go?
And
In
walking away.
general, for themselves.
I think it has a lot to do on the guy. Um, I think the guy is, being abusive, whether it's physically or emotionally, but they're doing it in a way so the girl knows, I'm not worth it. I'm not worth it to be with anybody else. Um, or, whether it's the guy, having his comments to her, whatever it is that he says to her, like he's pretty much letting her know nobody else is gonna want you. Like, you're damaged. You have so much baggage. Nobody wants you. So we stay.
Yeah, I actually know someone personally that went through an abusive, physically abusive
Mm-hmm.
relationship, and I gave that person some advice, even though I was never experienced to be in any kind of relationship like that. But outside of that, that person chose to go back to that person, and it was, bruises and this and that. I mean, if I were to be the man, if I were to put my shoes, if I were to put myself in their shoes as far as the man part of being in that kind of relationship, if I'm unhappy, I'm just gonna let her know straight up off the bat. I don't think that there's a point of you cheating because that just makes it worse for both of you, and you don't get anywhere besides worse than what you guys already are. So, just my opinion. I think a lot of guys do tend to cheat if it's not the female, but I know males are mainly the ones that begin it. I just think, in my opinion, they should just let the person know. I think honesty takes takes you a long way when you're honest with the person. I had to learn that from personal experience because I was never honest with females myself. What I mean by that is that when I would take girls out on a date, I would tell them about me, but I wouldn't tell them about my physical condition.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever we would meet, I mean, whenever we would talk on the phone or whatever before we even met, everything was good. Everything was like nothing. And then we meet, and it's like they're disappointed because I wasn't honest, and I did that for years. I want to say more than 10 years, maybe. But I did have good dates here and there, but I think it all came down to me learning, hey, this is not working because you're not being honest. Maybe one day if you'll be a little bit more honest with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
that I would finally maybe find somebody else a lot sooner than what I did now. And I don't regret it. Maybe it's just something that I had to live and learn. And yeah, I just wanted to share my opinion on why it's better to be honest when you're in a relationship, especially when you're married.
Mm-hmm.
You should know right off the bat, like, y'all gonna have to talk your differences and know what y'all like and dislike, and everything else will come within time. But I don't think anyone deserves to be in any kind of abuse or anything like that, whether it be physically, mentally, or emotionally. I think it can all it can really destroy somebody's life in general as far as love. The word love is. Do you think love can kill, Jackie? You think those words can really, you think you could have went farther than just being depressed and needing more than, you think it could have went another route?
Oh yeah, it could have. I only went as far as being depressed. I mean, I was depressed for so many years. Um, and I started eating more and more and more, which is how I gained weight. But because I had my family, I had friends. I mean, they didn't know the whole story. to my marriage, to our problems. They just knew we were going through something. They didn't know the details or the specifics, but they were there for me. So because I had them there for me, I think that's why I didn't, take it to the next level of depression or whatever. Because I know there are some girls or guys that when they are going through something like that, some take it as far as as suicide. And I'm just glad I had my family and my friends there for me, even though they didn't know exactly what was going on.
Yeah. What was the first thing that you did to think about the actual divorce, to end it and just move on with your personal life? You remember?
Um, I know something happened. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I had enough of it. Like I literally sat him down and I said, "We make it work or we don't. We don't. I'm gone. Like that's it." And the thing with me and the thing I told him too was, once I'm done, I'm done. There is no, let's take a break and figure it out. Like I'm done. I'm walking out, and that's it. I'm not. There's no back and forth. And because I did give him so many chances, but I never left the house. We stayed living
Yeah.
together, and we tried to work it out, or so I thought we tried. Well, I tried. Um, I don't see it that he actually did try. Maybe for like, after we had our arguments, he tried for like a week or two, and then he went back to the usual problems.
Yeah.
But I don't remember exactly how it happened. I just went up to him, I sat him down, and I said, "You know what? This is it. I can't do it anymore. Um, I'm leaving." So
Did he ever try to run you when y'all were married, Jackie? Did he ever try to run you, meaning like whatever he says goes and that's it? Or did he give you a 50% chance of having that kind of power towards the actual relationship?
it was mostly whatever he wanted. Um, Because on my family, we do get a lot of get togethers, but I didn't go to like not even half of them because he didn't want to go. And he didn't want me to go by myself.
Yeah.
So I stayed home and I didn't go. And I had to, pretty much lie to my family as to why I couldn't go.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. Um, I don't know. I think there's a lot of guys out there in general, in my opinion, that stop their girlfriends from having life goals. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
where they say, "No, I don't want you to work," because in general, to them, she's beautiful, and they're gonna believe that she's easily gonna be taken away by someone else. And I know there's a lot of insecurities in general with everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people. And we all tend as humans to go back to what we're used to, and we just believe that maybe if everyone's gonna be the same. But I don't think it should be like that. I think you have to really understand the person before you get into any kind of relationship with them. But I mean, it's a process, in my opinion. I think it takes time. You shouldn't just expect it to just magically just be perfect and and go your way. But yeah, I think that's just one thing that people gotta realize, that you gotta work at it. You gotta be.
Mm-hmm.
I think every relationship should be 50-50. I don't think one should run over the other or vice versa. I think it should. I don't believe in stopping anyone's life goals. I don't care how beautiful she is or this and that. I think she deserves to have a working. I mean, think about it, Jackie. You think you can be at home 24 hours without doing anything, just watch Netflix and literally just chill?
No, no, I'd go crazy. I can't. Because I mean, I've been working for so many years already. I'm used to it. Um, I was actually working and going to college before I got married.
Yeah.
Um, I was going for, you know, my major was in education and my minor was small business entrepreneuring. So I was doing both. But once I got married, I went to school for about another year. And I mean, I was working full time, going to college full time. But because my ex husband wanted, dinner served when he got home, he wanted breakfast
Yeah.
before he went to work. Like, I was tired. I'm going to school, I'm going to work full time. I couldn't do everything. And he wouldn't be like, you know what, you got class today, so don't worry about it. I'll cook dinner or whatever. Like, he wasn't like that. I go to school and he's like, so you didn't cook today? So it's like, I because of that, I stopped going to college. Like, who knows what I could have done all these years that when if I hadn't stopped. But because of him, I did stop a lot of things. I didn't do a lot of things.
I think people should listen to other people, especially their friends. Like if someone is really supporting you leaving that, so you can be happy, because nobody deserves to be in a lockdown, so to speak.
Mhm.
Where you have to do as as the person tells you, because he's not your boss. You
Yeah.
The only person that can stop you is you.
Mhm.
So I'm not trying to be mean, but I would also blame it on you and
Yeah.
say, I don't deserve this. You can just look in the mirror. And this goes out to anyone in general, not just not just
Mhm.
females themselves. Maybe men are in the same situation, and they're afraid that nobody else will love them the same or understand them. But
Mhm.
I strongly disagree. But do you think it's easier to do that when you have no kids, or you think it's easier or harder with kids in itself?
I mean, it's hard all around, but it's easier to walk away when you don't have kids. Because when you do have kids, like, you have to think about them, how it's going to affect them.
Yeah.
But the whole divorce process, it is a whole lot easier without kids. Once you have kids, you have to keep going back and forth to court because you're fighting with your spouse.
Custody and all of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who's keeping the kids, who's keeping what. So it was easier.
Are you happy, Jackie, that you don't have any kids after your marriage?
Um, I'm happy I didn't have kids with him. Yeah,
Especially for him leaving.
yeah,
A
cause
lot of men leave at an early age. When the wife is still having the kid, like, and
mhm,
they just disappear. A lot of
yeah,
that goes on. I know a few of my friends that have no father figure around, but they still manage to be blessed and push forward for themselves. And that's not. I don't think when you get married, I know people that have gotten married 3 or 4 times, and that's a lot. That's a
yeah,
lot. That's
yeah,
a lot of commitment, and we all need to realize that we need to give love a second chance.
mhm,
But just in general, as to why I brought this out, is because people are people are still right now, 2020, afraid to let go. They're
mhm,
afraid to look outside of what they have going on, and you should not be afraid. Whether you have kids or not, honestly, I think if you have the 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 strength and the knowledge to know what's better for you and the kids, just seek help. Seek
mhm,
advice. And by the way, this is just our personal opinion. We're not here to say that we're doctors and we know this and that, but just personal experience. I think it helps to have someone that's been through it, and at least some of it. And there's people that been through worse. Been through worse.
yeah.
But are you happy now, Jackie? After all that?
I am very happy that I left. I feel like this heavy weight just lifted off of me, like, you know.
Yeah.
I do. I'm a whole lot better. I'm going back to school, so
That's good. Good.
I mean, for something completely different than I was originally going
Yeah.
for. But you know, I'm going back. I'm actually trying to do something with my life rather than just, you know, work and home.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am a whole lot happier now.
That's good. Give yourself a lot of paths in life, not just one thing. I think everything should be given a chance, you know, and never stay comfortable. I've talked about this in episode 1 for the people that are listening and heard in episode 1 in general, but never.
And I think that's another reason why I stayed longer than what I should have, because I was comfortable
Yeah.
in the situation where I was at. I was starting to see it as normal,
Yeah.
so I was getting very comfortable with it too.
Well, maybe it was just like a slap in the face, like, hey,
Yeah, I need to
you
wake up.
could have been, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think when you're in the moment, I could see why you would have been comfortable, cause I've been comfortable in general before, especially with like not wanting to work and this and that. But I think once you do it, it's like I should have done this 10 years ago. You know,
Yeah.
I should have done this, X amount of years ago. It don't matter. But yeah, but as far as right now, I think you're doing good. I'm glad as well that you didn't hurt yourself, because there's females or people out there in general that would rather end it for themselves, and you have a lot of abusiveness going on in the world, and I guess it's easier for them to cheat than be honest with themselves, and I think it's better to be honest. I mean, you don't get killed for being honest. I mean, at least for the most part, you should not. But
Yeah.
it's better to tell the truth about where you stand in the relationship during the X amount of time that you're in it. But you should always be honest. I think honest is number one. I think if you would have asked anyone in general, I think honesty is gonna be like the one of the number one things that are gonna be part of the relationship. I don't think anyone would disagree, but that definitely has to be one. Um, I know I've been honest with you from the beginning. I think I kind of overwhelmed you the first time I told you, but I just wanted to let it all out. I wanted to be transparent at its fullest, and I know you remember that I told you.
I did.
But how do you feel after reading all of that? Out of the blue.
I mean, you sent me like this paragraph, like literally everything about you. I was just like, whoa, okay. I thought we were going like one question at a time, but you're like, nope, here's everything. But it was good. It was good to know everything up front, and I'm glad you did. I mean, even if you wouldn't have had told me about your condition, I wouldn't have reacted how those, other girls in your past reacted, I wouldn't have gotten mad. I would have just been like, how come you didn't tell me? I mean, it doesn't affect me, or it doesn't affect how I feel about you, but it's just like, why wouldn't you just say it, And I get it. I get why you wouldn't, but I'm glad you sent me that big old paragraph.
That's not the first time I've done it. I've done it before, and the reply that I got was, I'm trying to keep from laughing, but they would go, dude, that's too much information. Like, it's too much going on,
It is, it is too much going on, but it's good to know. It's good to know.
Yeah. No, well, yeah, I'm glad you feel the way you do. I always would tell my sisters it's kind of hard to find somebody to like me for me because of the way I am, and I made that an excuse. That's only really blame it on myself, because I think if I would have been honest from the get go, I would have probably been married by now, Jackie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I would have, if I would have trusted more in and the process
Mm-hmm.
and the honesty in general, I think I would have been. But I also think about, I'm not gonna lie to you, I also think about how would it have been if I wasn't the way I am now. You know, if I
Mm.
wasn't with this condition, how would it be? You know, I just think that in general, but there's no excuse. There's no excuse. I have a friend that I told you about that, you know, I don't want to share no names, but he knows who he is, and I got back in touch with him, and he has kids, and he never made any excuses or impediments in his life. So I give a lot of props to that man right there, and you know, I'm just saying that because there should be no excuse. I think, like they say, there's someone out there for everyone,
Yeah.
and that is true. I didn't believe it forever. I didn't believe it forever. I was one of those people that I was a naysayer and like, no, that's not gonna happen. But there is, and believe it or not, but the word patience,
Mm-hmm.
when they say patience is key, that is true.
It is.
And I'm not a patient person, and you told me you weren't one.
I am.
And you do you feel a lot more patient now, or has anything changed? When I'm saying patient, like with anything in general.
Um, I can be pretty patient for most things. Um, but I think I have been more patient now than I was before.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good. I agree. Patience is, you have to be patient and you have to trust the process. Just have hope and have faith that if you are in an abusive or any type of relationship that's not healthy, seek somebody to give you advice, and look back to family. You can never go wrong with going back to family and telling them the truth, because there's people out there that are just too afraid, and that's exactly why I wanted to do this episode in general, because we have two different perspectives of relationships in general and different experiences, and that's just why I wanted to touch on this episode. But with everyone out there listening, I'm gonna put my Instagram just in case that you guys don't have it, and I'm not sure if Jackie wants to be followed or anything, but I'm really happy that you jumped on this episode with me. Something new. You never gotten on the mic like this before, have you?
No, this is the first.
And that's good. How do you feel about it?
It's okay.
That's okay. Okay, is that okay? Anyway, thank you again, guys, for listening today. I hope everyone had a great 4th of July weekend, by the way. And we would look forward to have any comments or questions that you might have. Again, this is just our personal opinions, nothing to be offended of. Just our personal opinion. But after that, I just want to say to other ones that are in a relationship again like that, please don't let comfortability take over your life. Be aware that life has a lot of greatness and better things for you, for everyone. And we have a life for a reason to enjoy it, and lift people in general. You know, everyone deserves to be happy. We weren't brought on this world to live miserably and live hate with hatred and grudges and this and that. So, thank you again, guys, and hope everyone has a blessed night. Okay, thank you. And any closing words you want to say, Jackie, to the audience? No.
No.
Okay. Well, thank you again, Jackie, for coming on with me, and everyone have a blessed night. Thank you.